We walk for one goal, to live in a world without Alzheimer's. Join us for the 2024 Walk to End Alzheimer's this Saturday here at Lake Eola Park. Or go to WESH.com to find a walk near you. Because finding a cure starts with one step.
Covering Central Florida, so you never miss a moment of what's happening. Every night at 10, Michelle Imparato, Jesse Pagan, and First Warning Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi. WESH 2 News at 10 on CW18. Local, live, late breaking. Thanks for making WESH 2 News Sunrise #1.
Next at noon, we are learning brand new information about the Lake Mary teacher set to face a judge today. The sexual photos he's accused of sending a student. Plus, our rain chances about to go way up as the system heads toward Florida, and there's new tropical activity coming into the Gulf.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
All right, first at noon, this Lake Mary High School teacher is facing charges accused of having sexual conversations with a student over text messages, including sending a nude photo. It's a disturbing story we've been on since yesterday. WESH 2's Dave McDaniel joins us live from the school this afternoon. And Dave, this man also coached the girls' soccer team.
That's right. He's an assistant coach. He's also an advanced placement instructor. But as you mentioned, right now, he is in jail facing criminal charges. Presently, Richard Colon is in the Seminole County Jail being held without bond. He is scheduled to go before a judge this afternoon. Reporting live in Seminole County, Dave McDaniel, WESH 2 News.
Deputies are investigating a deadly shooting in Volusia County. They say a man shot and killed a woman in Edgewater. This happened off Liza Clinton Road between US 1 and I-95 just after 5 last night. The sheriff's office is calling this incident a domestic disturbance. They haven't said what type of relationship the two were in. The alleged shooter is being questioned and treated for minor injuries, but detectives haven't released any information about what exactly led up to the shooting or if they have ever been called to this home before. This man is charged with vehicular homicide, accused of driving under the influence, speeding faster than 100 miles per hour and causing a deadly crash. This all happened on May 1st. Ormond Beach police say 26-year-old Wyatt Dickerson was driving on South Atlantic Avenue near Harvard Drive at about 110 miles per hour. Then he allegedly crashed into another car, killing a woman inside. Deputies arrested Dickerson on Wednesday. All right now we want to check in with First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris as our rain chances really start to go way up. And Eric, we're hearing rumblings of more tropical activity coming into the Gulf.
Yeah, there's a lot of moisture. We're kind of entering into this very early fall tropical pattern where moisture bubbles up and then just kind of gets forced toward Florida. Whether or not we get a name out of this whole mess remains to be seen, but I think the impacts are going to be the same. A whole lot of rain moving our direction. Gulf of Mexico currently highlighted as having a medium 40% chance of tropical development over the next 7 days' time. Really looking at next week for the potential of a tropical depression or maybe even a tropical storm as several pieces of energy get going. So let's take a look at kind of some of the modeling. All right, this is Monday at 7 a.m. What a difference, right? Like the whole Gulf will be highlighted in clouds and rain as there are several pieces of energy. First piece of energy week kind of moves through central or south Florida through Tuesday, brings a bunch of rain. Then the second piece of energy moves through Wednesday into Thursday, and it's the second piece of energy that some of the models are hinting may try to make a run for some sort of tropical development. Either way, a couple of pieces of energy means a whole lot of moisture. Outside right now, building clouds here on our Daytona Beach Tower cam and First Warning live Doppler radar showing some rains developing. In just a couple of minutes, we'll talk about this rain and look out further to get an idea of what's to come this weekend and even next week. Tracking the tropics in just minutes.
All right, Eric, we'll see you soon. Well, the weather was great for a launch this morning. United Launch Alliance's Vulcan rocket blasted off from the Cape around 7:30.
3. We have engine ignition. 1. And liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Vulcan rocket carrying ULA's legacy of reliability.
So this is the second of 2 test flights required for ULA's certification process with the U.S. Space Force. The first mission successfully launched NASA's commercial lunar payload back in January. And look at this picture. or after the launch. How beautiful is that? You can see the contrail there left behind, and it cast a long shadow as the sun rose. If you have any cool launch pictures or video, we want to see them. Send them in to us. Our email is news@wesh.com. A community group from Eatonville squared off with the Orange County School Board this morning over the Hungerford property. This plot of land used to be the site of Robert Hungerford Preparatory School. It sits near East Kennedy Boulevard and North Wymore Road. WESH 2's Bob Hazen explains the school district has been trying to find a developer for this land. We are about a month away from Election Day, and the presidential candidates are ramping up campaigning in battleground states. Trump in Michigan yesterday and Harris in Wisconsin, with a top anti-Trump conservative, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney. NBC's Peter Alexander shows us the key moments from their latest appearances. The candidates have also been focusing on the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Donald Trump will be back in Georgia to survey damage alongside Governor Brian Kemp today, and Kamala Harris will tour parts of North Carolina tomorrow. Hurricane Helene's devastation stretches across the southeast. Right now, federal and state resources as well as private companies are stepping up to help people just survive. The Georgia National Guard is working to clean up debris and clear the roads. It's been more than a week since the storm made landfall, and still some people in Georgia and other states are cut off from much needed supplies. Thousands are still without power, and spotty service has really slowed down communication. Private helicopter companies are delivering food, water, and supplies to western North Carolina. The storm dumped more than a foot of rain in the region. One company is using 44 helicopters to make about 150 deliveries. Each one carries 400 pounds of supplies. All right, the Best Friends Animal Society is helping animal shelters hit hard by Hurricane Helene. The organization awarded $5,000 grants to both Humane Pinellas and the Humane Society of Sarasota County. The money will help caregivers buy essentials and move pets to safer shelters. Best Friends is collecting more money through an online fundraiser. All this money will go to impacted areas throughout the Southeast. And a Melbourne animal shelter is expecting to take in a huge influx of cats from North Carolina because of Helene. Hope for Brevard says it's expecting 70 to 100 cats next week. They're also looking to send supplies to North Carolina. Items like dry and wet cat food, water, and small plastic carriers can be dropped off in donation bins outside the adoption center. It's on Cypress Avenue, or you can just drop them off during adoption hours. They're also asking for volunteers to help with cleaning during some shifts there. Hopefully people can step up and help. And we are highlighting an adorable, adoptable pet on today's WESH to the Rescue. Look at this cutie. What a sweetheart, sitting so well. We are introducing you to this amazing pet, looking for a loving home when we come back. Stay with us.
Jesse Pagan on WESH 2 News. You're watching WESH 2.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Friday, and we are so excited to introduce you to another shelter pet waiting for a new home. Bree Burkett from Seminole County Animal Services joins us.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
No problem.
Thank you so much for bringing Cappuccino in.
Yeah, no problem.
He's really made himself quite at home here in the studio. I think we're going to take a nap while we send it over to. I think that's what's happening right now. But we want to let you know that we have a really cool opportunity to go along with the adoptions. Chewy wants to make sure every new pet parent has what they need for their furry friend. So how cool is this? To support WESH to the Rescue and the adoption of shelter pets, Chewy is sending pet parents home with everything they'll need. So you get a leash, a harness, treats, toys, a food dish, a dog bed. It's such a cool little package to go along with your new pet. If you're interested in adopting or want to check out the many other animals ready for adoption, you can visit the Seminole County Animal Services in Sanford. We will also have all of this information for you on our website. Just head to wesh.com. And let's do this, Central Florida. Let's get Cappuccino a home. This dog is so sweet. Right now, we're going to send it over to Eric Burris. Tough act to follow, Eric.
I'm not even going to try. That's sweet, those sweet eyes. Oh my gosh, I must look away, must look away. but I don't want to. All right, let's talk about the weather. This afternoon, we are beautiful, partly cloudy skies outside from our Tower Cam network. This is out in Tavares. Lake Dora's looking nice. The sun is helping these temperatures to climb, though. 6 in Ocala, 88 degrees in DeLand, and we've seen some light showers along the shoreline helping to bring temperatures down. Here's our first warning live Doppler radar. Tracking some rains moving right down 192 on the southern shore there of Lake Washington, out around Palm Bay. A few passing showers, kind of grouping up some heavier rain right through I-95 here. Not really looking at lightning, but some heavy rain nonetheless. Crossing over the St. Johns, we'll be working over to Bithlo, Wedgefield, Avalon Park. A couple of other showers here near Midway and out near Sanford eventually, Deltona, and even up here around Ormond Beach, showers moving inland. Nice cluster of rain that'll be coming in around Hammock Beach and the Flagler County shoreline essentially. So for this afternoon, that breeze coming in off the ocean helps us out 10, 15, 20 miles an hour. That feels nice. Average high temperature this time of year is 87. We'll sit in the ballpark, maybe a little warmer than. 89, our high temperature today. 90 in Leesburg, 91 in Wildwood, and we're about where we will be through the afternoon back over to the shoreline. So through 3 o'clock, those showers move inland. We'll see some storms firing up out west through 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then continuing toward the Nature Coast thereafter. So the reality is for high school football, for most of us, we're looking good this evening. Rain chance today sits at 40%. Same idea tomorrow. But notice Sunday into Monday, those rain chances really start to climb, all thanks to tropical moisture. Look at this bubble up here down in the Bay of Campeche. This is the first piece of that energy that's going to start to bubble and move our direction. And that or another piece has the chance of developing. Hurricane Center is kind of watching just an overall pattern of disturbed weather in the Gulf of Mexico. So over the next 7 days' time, there is a medium 40% likelihood of tropical formation. But as some of the new afternoon computer models are running, even as we speak, I would at least hint at mentally the idea that that number may go up as we're seeing more and more indication of development. So let's just start with Sunday lunchtime. Lots of moisture. I think tomorrow's gonna be normal. By Sunday, there's a lot of moisture as this first piece of energy starts to move our direction. And then as that starts to cross, it's going to be a secondary piece of energy working toward the peninsula by mid next week. So for now, computer models are developing lows. Some models are hinting that there is tropical depression, tropical storm, that type of thing. But we know for a fact there's going to be several waves of heavy rain. The tropical development piece of this is possible. But either way, models are showing rain. The American GFS model showing in our northern spots an inch or so of rain, but in our southern spots, the American GFS showing about a half a foot to a foot of rain for next week. You come over to the European model and it's a little on the lower side, but either way, we're kind of watching these models go back and forth and back and forth. When it comes to computer models, consistency breeds confidence. We're not there yet. So let's watch and keep tabs. So for now, it's just kind of a normal rain chance today, tomorrow, and then Sunday through Thursday of next week, those rain chances are going up as we're tracking the tropics. We'll talk more about that in the next half hour.
All right, Eric. Well, the strike at ports across the country has come to an end for now, and workers return to their jobs today. Why this truce may only be temporary.
First Warning Weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by 1 Hour Heating and Air.
Get connected to Central Florida like never before with Very Local, powered by WESH 2. Stay informed with the local news team you trust. Explore original series and specials.
You are one of the most inspiring people I've ever met.
Experience new sights and new adventures with the ultimate Central Florida insiders.
I can't wait to go check it out. Come with me.
24/7 TV made just for you.
How awesome is this?
Download the free Very Local app now and stream like a local.
Port workers across the nation are back at work today. They reached a tentative agreement with the Maritime Alliance. Nico Clemens shows us the breakthrough in these negotiations. The tentative deal still needs to be completed and ratified by other ILA members before it's set in stone. All right, a former Starbucks CEO is accused of breaking federal labor laws with a threat. How this factors into the company's alleged history of misconduct toward its workers. And destruction in Lebanon as Israel continues its operations against Hezbollah, the border crossing that is now impassable because of Israeli strikes.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Training is going on right now for the OUC Half Marathon.
We'll be running in December, and you can too with the help of WESH 2 and Runner's World.
Get custom plans from Runner's World for just $30. Scan the QR code or visit WESH.com now. Every day at 4, WESH 2 News is in your community, covering the stories for Central Florida. Nancy Alvarez, Jesse Pagan, and First Warning meteorologist Cam Tran. WESH 2 News at 4. Local, live, late breaking. Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
Welcome back. I'm Nancy Alvarez, and we are getting things over to First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris for a look outside. And Eric, rain is really kind of putting all of our weekend plans at risk here.
Yeah, for now at least we've got some clouds over top, but nothing too bad. First Warning live Doppler radar showing a fairly clean sweep out west through the metro, but out east we're watching a little bit of rain. Let me take you in a little closer. And from Brevard into East Orange County, watching some pockets of heavy rains. Port St. John, Mims, Titusville, this working right alongside the beach line there, kind of getting up to the 520. Bithlow, Wedgefield out near Avalon Park, Waterford Lakes eventually making it into downtown Orlando. Spotty showers out near Geneva, Sanford, entering into our West Volusia communities, and eventually we'll cross over into Northern Lake. Temperatures nice and warm, about as warm as we'll get today along the shoreline, upper 80s, lower 90s inland, and the forecast giving us a few thunderstorms. Not all of us are going to get stormed on today, which is good. It's Friday night. We've got evening plans, whether it be high school football or date night, whatever the case may be. But these rain chances are paled in comparison to where we're heading. So let's talk about this big pattern shift and what it means for you and I. Full First Warning forecast in just a couple minutes.
Deputies in Lake County are searching for a woman who hasn't been seen in more than a week. The sheriff's office says 68-year-old Elizabeth Salinas, who goes by Liz, was last seen getting into a white van with her dog in Fruitland Park on September 24th. Well, the report says deputies pinged Salinas' phone to try and get a location, but it didn't return any valid coordinates. And her daughter is, of course, worried.
It is just devastating to not be able to reach somebody you love and to fear for their safety. You know, we have so many questions and no answers, and we just want some answers.
Now, she is begging anyone with information to come forward. An Orange County judge is facing charges over his behavior on the bench. The Judicial Qualifications Commission says Circuit Judge Jeff Ashton shouted at people appearing before him. The commission also claims Ashton lacks patience, dignity, and courtesy required by the Code of Judicial Conduct. Ashton has 20 days to respond to this. Before becoming a judge, he was a prosecutor and, of course, known for his work in the Casey Anthony trial. He'll be on the ballot next month. A man who drove the wrong way and caused a deadly crash will learn his fate next month. Thomas Petrie pleaded no contest to vehicular manslaughter and leaving the scene. His sentencing hearing is set for November 6th. This crash happened on State Road 44 in Volusia County in 2022. 3 people in the other car died, including a well-known TikToker, Allie Spice. Well, the other driver, Devin Perkins, was speeding at the time of the crash. This week, a jury found him guilty of vehicular manslaughter. Court documents filed Wednesday show Perkins is asking for a new trial. Intense video out of Volusia County is putting you in the firefighters' shoes as they battle a house fire. The entire garage here, up to the roof, is filled with flames. Look at this. This was on McGregor Road in DeLand. No word yet on what sparked the fire. No one was hurt. To the Middle East now, where Israeli troops launched massive airstrikes in the suburbs of Beirut. They were allegedly trying to hit Hezbollah's possible next leader. NBC's Matt Bradley explains how this damage affects civilians trying to escape the violence. All right, now to another story making national headlines. A former Starbucks CEO is accused of breaking federal labor laws. The National Labor Relations Board says Howard Schultz told a barista, quote, "If you're not happy at Starbucks, you can go work for another company." Well, the board decided his words were an unlawful threat. That incident happened in 2022 when a barista brought up the benefits of unionizing. Now, Starbucks has been in the spotlight for multiple allegations of misconduct and union-busting efforts. On Tuesday, the 500th Starbucks location voted to unionize. And last month, a Starbucks location near Disney Springs became the first in Orlando to unionize. A Biden administration student debt forgiveness plan will move forward. A federal judge let a temporary restraining order against the plan expire this week. The student loan forgiveness plan could deliver relief to millions of Americans, canceling up to $20,000 in debt per borrower. It would forgive debt in 4 scenarios: for those who owe more than they borrowed, those who have been in repayment for decades, students from schools with low financial value, and those who qualify under existing programs but have not yet applied. The September jobs report blew past expectations. According to the Labor Department, the U.S. added 254,000 jobs last month. That's nearly 100,000 more than the month prior. Unemployment also fell 0.1 percentage point to 4.1%. Amazon is hiring for the holidays. It plans to add 250,000 workers in the coming months. The jobs are full-time, part-time, and seasonal roles. Amazon says its seasonal jobs have a starting pay of at least $18 per hour. Mexico now has its first female president, and she's got her work cut out for her as she takes office. How she's fighting for women's rights and peace in a country stuck in a web of economic issues.
Closed captioning brought to you by National Floors Direct.
We have quite a few Latino and Hispanic nationalities and cultures in Central Florida. And I think aside from the food and the language, one of the other things that brings us all together is community. Wanting to take care of each other, prop each other up, leave the door open behind us, and let others walk through behind us. So I think that is something that brings us all together. And I think that's something that we have seen play out over and over again here in Central Florida. Join us as WESH 2 celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month.
It's the beginning of a historic new presidency. Mexico has elected its first woman to the highest seat. The country's new leader is promising to promote women's rights and fight ongoing violence. But as Julio Vaquero reports, her work is laid out for her as she inherits a country riddled with economic hardship. Mexico's presidents are limited to a single 6-year term, meaning the next election will be in 2030. A Florida doctor is going viral on TikTok for sharing advice, but it's not medical advice this time. How she's helping people deal with damage from Hurricane Helene.
First warning weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by Care Plus Health Plans.
A doctor from St. Petersburg is using TikTok to help people facing damage from Hurricane Helene. Her home has flooded multiple times from hurricanes. Chad Mills explains she's now sharing her advice with millions online. And Dr. Martin first went viral for her videos on the dangers of metal grill brushes and myths about dry drowning. So she covers a lot. All right, new data shows thousands of homeowners impacted by Hurricane Helene are struggling to get help because they did not have flood insurance. Now, experts are reminding people in Florida why it's important to have the extra coverage. The Insurance Information Institute and Neptune Flood says about 80% of Floridians do not have flood insurance.
I have a neighbor whose house will need to be demolished. They've never had flooding in 50 years of living there. No flood insurance means no help in a situation like this. Your homeowner's policy does not cover the risk of flooding.
So they say with the threat of hurricane season and heavy rain, everyone should have the extra layer of coverage no matter where they live in this state. All right, let's get to it. A lot to talk about as we head into the weekend and we track this system. And I've had all week, really. Is it going to move south? But even if it does, we're still going to get rain.
Listen, think about it like this, all right? It's just added energy atmospherically. Maybe more energy ends up over South Florida. It's still going to impact us and bring us more clouds and more rain. So you're going to notice the weather's changing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The specificity of it we'll have to iron out as we get some consistency with computer models. For right now, though, let's just take and enjoy our lunch hour on a Friday.
Live in the moment.
It's lit, for goodness sake. You get one Friday a week. Let's enjoy it. Downtown Orlando. 89 degrees our current temperature. Breeze out of the east-ish at about 11 or so miles an hour. First warning live Doppler radar. Scanning and finding some rain at this hour. Some heavier stuff off the shoreline there that will move into Flagler County. A little bit of decent rain up here around Holly Hill through Ormond Beach. Some more showers working over toward DeLand, Orange City, Deltona, Lake Helen. And then there's this cluster of very heavy rainfall working right across State Road 50 eventually. The beach line, 520. No thunder and lightning, at least not that I'm seeing on the radar, but still something to watch. And a quick shower that popped up around Micco, near Micco Road. But you can very clearly see that onshore breeze taking all of that moisture and just bringing it on through. So we'll have some rain the next couple of hours. We're going with a 40% coverage of showers and eventually thunder showers. Temperatures hanging out in the upper range of the 80s. And then when it's done, it's done. It moves out west and we're able to move on with our life. Here's 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Kind of see those storms bubbling up over I-75 and then it clears us and we look better and better for tonight. So for our Friday evening plans, I think we're good. But looking at this weekend, we're already watching moisture bubbling up here in the extreme southern Gulf of Mexico. Computer models are going to end up forcing all of that moisture to us, and we'll get another piece of energy developing, and models are forcing all of that to us. So basically, several rounds of moisture, and the computer models are generally taking it toward central to southwest Florida, right in this area here. But again, Nancy, as we were talking about it, the specificity of it will iron out. But the idea is we're going to get a bunch of moisture moving our direction. So let me take you through the weekend on Futurecast. All right, here's 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Can't rule out a couple of showers around. Watch through the day how we really don't see much. Tomorrow's going to be a pretty decent day. A few areas of showers and thunder showers. No big deal. Overnight, a little bit of rain perhaps. But this is Sunday morning. Clouds and rain already around. Notice through the day, lunchtime into the afternoon, whole lot of color on the map. It looks like Sunday is going to be the day we transition into this more tropical pattern. And it's not just Sunday, it's Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, all right? So looking at the 7-day forecast, we've got a 40% coverage of showers and storms today, tomorrow. No big deal. We can deal with that, no problem. But it's going to be Sunday into next week that all of that tropical moisture starts moving our direction. A lot of people are asking about things like flights. A lot of people are asking about things like, could this become a hurricane? It's just too early to give you those answers. I'm not a hyper. None of us here on this weather team are. What we can tell you is moisture is increasing and we need to watch the models. All right, we're going to do that for you. We'll keep you up to date and we're going to do it in a manner that informs you and does not freak you out. All right, hurricane season. It's just what we have to deal with, Nancy.
Thank you. You're good for my anxiety.
Try.
Not freaking anybody out. All right, let's get to a familiar face now. Coming back to Saturday Night Live, comedian Nate Bargatze, the memorable moments from his first appearance that got him a return ticket for the show's 50th season.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Rubenstein Law. Injured? Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Saturday Night Live's 50th season is off to a hot start. Last week produced the highest rated season opener in 4 years. Mark Barger shows us how comedian Nate Bargatze plans to keep that momentum going. Coldplay joins Bargatze as this week's musical guest. And of course, you can watch it all right here on WESH 2 tomorrow night. SNL comes on at 11:30, right after WESH 2 News at 11. A guitar that used to belong to Beatles legend George Harrison is up for auction. It's the electric guitar he played during the band's early years. Music enthusiasts and collectors can bid on it at the Rock and Roll Music Auction in Nashville. Harrison bought the guitar in 1959 from a music store in Liverpool, England. The guitar played a crucial role in shaping the Beatles' sound and music history. It's valued at $800,000. WESH 2 is the media partner for tomorrow's Walk to End Alzheimer's at Lake Eola. Registration begins at 7:30. WESH 2 sports reporter Kristen Lago will MC the opening ceremony at 8:30. The walk kicks off right after. You can find information on how to sign up on WESH.com. And they're getting that in before the rain, so that's good. WESH 2 also proud to partner with Come Out with Pride to bring you Orlando's 20th annual Pride Parade. After more than 2,000 people showed up for last year's parade. The event is growing this year with a new parade route. You can have the best seat in the house. Watch the parade exclusively online at WESH.com, on the WESH 2 Facebook page, and on the very local app. Our live coverage will begin at 4 p.m. October 19th. Today at 4, right now, there's a rush to get critical supplies to people recovering from Hurricane Helene in North Carolina. This afternoon, we speak with a local pilot who is taking on the mission to fly over 500 pounds of relief to those who need it most. And we're expecting even more rain after a very soggy month, with many neighborhoods already dealing with flooding. We check in with what a disturbance could mean for us here in Central Florida. We'll see you again today at 4. Have a good day.